Hello, third graders. In this mini lesson, I'm going to be talking about decimal numbers. Uh, let's first answer this question. What are decimal numbers? And the way that we're going to answer this question is by going over the place value of decimal numbers, or the numbers in a decimal number. So let's start by writing the decimal number 3. Well, I'm not going to say point. 3 and let's do 75 hundredths. Okay, let's go ahead and find the place value for each. Okay. All right. Okay. So let me draw this and this. Okay. So here we go. I'll leave that there. All right. This place value right here, if you just saw that by itself, that 3, what would be the place value? You would say, oh, that's the ones place value. That's the ones. And what is this place value then? You would say it was the tens. So we have tens right here. We have nothing in the tens. We have 3 ones. But then what do you call these place values? So that's what I'm going to get into when I say what are decimal numbers. When I ask the question, what are decimal numbers? This right here actually is called a decimal point. Okay? That's a decimal point and actually separates the whole parts from the fractional part. Now, in the next video, I'll be getting into more of the relationship of decimal numbers and fractions. So don't worry about that right now. What I want you to learn right now is the place value for each one of these digits. So the 3 is in the ones place value. Now what is the place value for this 7 and this 5? Well, actually, with the 7's place value, we call it the tenths. Tenths. Now you can relate it to fractions. Have you ever used tenths in any fraction that you've read? I'm pretty sure you have. We'll talk about that later. What about the 5 here? What's the place value of this 5? The 7 is tenths. The 5, multiples of 10? Tens. What goes here? Yeah, okay. Hundredths. Hundredths. So we have the tenths and the hundredths place value to the right of the decimal. Let me go ahead and start putting little place value lines here so that you are not confused. Okay. So we said this is 7/10 and that's 5/100. Well, the way that I'm going to read this is I'm going to use the furthest digit to the right for the fraction part. So I would just say 3 and 75 hundredths. This is 3 and 75 hundredths. Let's take another fraction. Let's take another decimal number. Let's take 0 in the ones and put my decimal point in. Let's do 25. So how do you think I would write how would you think I would say this decimal number? If I said 3 and 75 hundredths, how do you think I would say this decimal number? I wouldn't say anything for the ones, right? So I would just say 25 hundredths. 25 hundredths. Okay, let's try another one. Let's try 1 penny, let's say. Make another 0. And we have nothing in the tenths. And let's say we have 1 measly penny. By the way, the reason why I'm saying penny is because decimal numbers do relate to money too. Okay, so let's figure out how to say this decimal number. I don't say anything for the ones, nothing for the tenths, but there is something in the hundredths. So actually what I say is 1 hundredth. No S this time. 1 hundredth. That's how I say that. Now let's do one more, and let's just do 1 in the ones place. So we have 1 whole, and let's do 5 right here. So I don't have anything in the hundredths this time. I didn't put a 0 there either, and I did that for a reason. But we still follow the same pattern. So what do we have in the ones? We have 1 and, notice the decimal point is and, so 1 and 5 tenths, because I have no hundredths. 1 and 5 tenths. That's how you read decimal numbers, and that is the place value of the decimal numbers. So if you understood that and you were good to go, please stop the video and move on to the next video that relates decimal numbers to fractions more. But I can't help myself, but I must do a connection really quick between 7 tenths and 5 hundredths. So you can go ahead and stop the video if you would like and then go on to the next, or please continue to watch a little bit more about how this relates to, or how you would say these decimal numbers. Okay, so if you didn't stop the video and you're listening, that means you're awesome and you are going to continue learning. All right, let me write this really quick. Let me write 7 over 100. Or actually 7 over 10. This is a fraction you might have seen already, like, in your worksheets or something like that. But how do you say this? How do you say this fraction? And let me write it really quick. You would actually say 7 tenths. We even practice writing out fractions in class. So you say 7 tenths to speak this fraction. Now, it's the same with decimal numbers. You say it like you're reading a fraction, basically. That's it. So look at this. If that was just 75, you would say 75 hundredths. So let me write that really quick as a fraction. Oof. I don't know what was going on there. 75 hundredths. There it is. I would say 3 and 75 hundredths. There's the fraction. You say decimal numbers exactly the same as you say fractions. Okay. Hopefully that was clear enough. Let me do a little quick review, and I'll read all these decimal numbers and see if you can get them before I do. Okay, here we go. 3 and 75 hundredths. it could say 0. I could say 0 and 25 hundredths, or I could just say 25 hundredths, because there's nothing there. 0 and 100th, or 100th. This is 1 and 5/10. Okay. Oh, one more thing. Sorry. Just a connection to mixed numbers. Look at this really quick. Is there a mixed number there? Yes, there is. I have one whole, and look at the fraction part. Look at the fraction part. 5. How do you say it? Tenths. Oh no, here we go. Tenths. Okay. That's about it.